Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Pokemon Showdown battle. And today, I am featuring an all-new team because I've really run out of ideas. I don't know what to do, with the exception of using two legendary Pokemon that I just wanted to use because I've never used them before, ever. Now, Hoopa is something that I really wasn't mad about. Its, its design, appearance, and all. But I really liked its stats, so I decided to use it in the battle. And well, Mega Blastoise, I've given it a go once, and I decided, to try it again. It really hasn't done me justice that much. I'm not that mad. I'm like, meh. Defensive Arcanine is a solid brick ton wall against Scizor, and maybe even Swampert, maybe even Aerodactyl, because it's got Intimidating Will-O-Wisp. And oh well. Celebi is a cool traditional 4th, 5th gen Celebi. I used to read Celebi sets a lot, but I couldn't get my hands physically on one. I run Thunder Wave, I run Stealth Rock, I run Recover and Energy Ball because, I have some relatively slow Pokemon, and I want to be able to paralyze things, speedy attackers like a Mega Aerodactyl or Latias that can pose a threat. Because my guys are heavy hitters like Conkeldurr and Hoopa, but they're very slow in terms of speed. And, Decidueye is back, and this time it's not the typical offensive set, happy-go-lucky swords dance and sweep everything you find your way team. This is a more defensive build, and it does meet justice, ladies and gentlemen. This Pokemon is fantastic in terms of stats, defense, and the moveset is weird. I studied more into its moveset, and it has Spirit Shackle, sorry, it doesn't have Spirit Shuckle. It has Spirit Shackles, Toxic, Roost, and I have a Stab Leaf Blade on it. I'm thinking of putting Protect because I already have a Stab move on it. And, I do have a Grass type, which is Celebi. So, anyway, the thing is that there are very annoying Pokemon like Hippowdon there. And, like Pokemon that like to set up sun and weathers and whatnot. So, the idea behind Decidueye is that I trap them with Spirit Shackle, and they just don't go anywhere. I Toxic them until they stall and they die. I Roost up to full health with Roost, and, well, you get the picture. And, let's get into this battle. I'm going to lead off with Celebi because it's my main Rocks lead, and it's something that a lot of people do not expect to see. And my opponent is going to obviously lead with a Swampert because, that's what Swampert does. And into Scizor, so I was so tempted. I was like, if you set up Rocks, you die. So he switches out into Scizor because that thing can go onto a U-turn and destroy my Celebi's life, so I want that. And I'm going to send out something that can deal with this team rather well. I should, in fact, change one of the moves and put something like, I don't know, maybe Poison Jab because Primarina, and fairy types in general. So in comes Swampert again, and I did go for the, I didn't go for anything actually, I did go for the switch out. So in comes Decidueye, okay, Decide You Die, that's what I like to call it because this thing decides who dies and who does not. And Swampert switches out into maybe Scizor again, yes, because this thing walls me something crazy, and that's what I wanted to do with the Swampert. I wanted to go for the Spirit Shackle, just to, hold it, keep it in, and I really do not want to deal with Scizor because if this thing has knockoff or I don't know. Scizors are scary, man. They're very scary to deal with. So Arcanine completely walls the Scizor, and of course, if people stop using U-turn on Scizor, the Earth might stop rotating and everyone dies. So in comes Swampert, and I really have to shuffle things around here. As long as Swampert and Scizor, those two, are still alive, I cannot do anything to this guy's team. He has a very solid defensive core. Thankfully, I do have the Celebi that can wall the Swampert, and since I do not make the same mistake twice, my opponent is going to go into the Amoonguss, and I'm going to set up Stealth Rocks because I can. So, we both have our Rocks up. Mega Aerodactyl cannot switch left, right, and center. I cannot let it set up. And Arcanine is a very important Pokemon to me to use because I really need him. So I predict to switch into Swampert, and that is why I opted for... Did I opt for the Will-O-Wisp? I think I went for the Morning Sun. Yes, that's what I did, because there's nothing that this Excuse me, I made a mistake. My opponent goes into the Scizor and then switches out double into Swampert, and that is where I predict my opponent and go for the Will-O-Wisp, which burns the Swampert, and that is fantastic because a burnt Swampert is a useless Swampert, especially if it has Earthquake or Waterfall or whatever they have. And yeah, Swampert is a cool Pokemon to use. I love that Pokemon so much, but it's not my forte in Swampert, so there's possibly nothing that this guy can do to me. He is burned, but he does have the Scald, which is annoying, and I wish that I had the Guts ability on my Rapuchin, which is Conkeldurr. So I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin just to get these rocks away, and I'm going to switch out Mega Blastoise next turn because it's going to go for the Toxic. That's what Swamperts do all day. They have Scald, they have Toxic, they have Stealth Rocks, and that's what they do all day. They just annoy people. And I'm going to switch out my Blastoise into Decide You Die. So it goes for the Stealth Rock again because it really wants my Arcanine dead. And if my Arcanine dies, then Scizor is pretty much free to do whatever the hell he wants. So I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade because I knew that my opponent was not going to switch out. He predicted me to switch out, and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade. And even if he switches in Scizor, he's going to take some Stealth Rocks damage, and I can, chip him away unless he has Roots, which is bad. So in comes Aerodactyl, and that is not good news for me because if this thing gets set up with speed and home claws and whatever it does, it's not good news. It cannot take shit. And why do you have Aerial Ace on Aerodactyl? Why would you have Aerial Ace? I don't know. I don't care. It's not my set. It's his. So I don't understand my opponent's thought process, and he is going to pay for that dearly. And I'm going to send in my bulky, special sweeping Choice Specs Hoopa. Now, this was the optimal switch for me because he cannot take anything. He cannot take a Choice Specs, Modest, Stabbed, Shadow Ball. There's no place in hell, man. There's no way in hell, sorry. There is a place in hell, but there is no way that you can claw yourself out of it. And in comes Scizor, which is the Pokemon I wanted to see. And he's going to take a Modest, Choice Specs, Shadow Ball. That thing is out of the way. Thank goodness that Scizor is out of the way. I am so happy that that thing is dead. So I can go for a Modest Choice Specs Shadow Ball onto the Primarina, do a decent chunk to it. This doesn't pick up the kill. And I guess that my opponent wants to weaken me, and he does. He goes for the Moonblast. He brings me at a revengeable range of health. And he's going to switch out his Primarina. There is nothing he can do. He's going to set out his Amoonguss. I'm still going to attack. There is no reason for me not to. I can outspeed Primarina, although I'm bulky. For some reason I outspeed it. But anyway, Mega Aerodactyl comes in, and I am going to punish my opponent dearly for what he has done to my Pokemon. I'm going to send out Arcanine, and I'm going to get an Intimidate on him because now with the Intimidate he can do less damage. So I don't need Arcanine because Scizor is not around anymore, so I can freely sacrifice this Pokemon. And this is where I'm going to make the play, and this is where Celebi is very useful. So I'm going to go for the Thunder Wave to get paralysis onto that Latias, and thankfully, sorry, I was actually aiming for the Aerodactyl, and thankfully Latias is the one that gets paralyzed. So all of his guys, except for Aerodactyl, are slow. And Aerodactyl will come in, he will take some Stealth Rocks damage, and he can be at a revengeable range with a Stab Mach Punch. Now this is where the Decidueye, he shines, okay? He avoids a Dracometer because, he really doesn't care because I do have a lot of special defense invested in this thing, so I know I can take at least one. I go for the Spirit Shackle. It does like almost 80%, so it's a 2-hit KO. And look how beautifully it eats up that Draco Meteor. Not even 50% damage, man, which means that a Latias that cannot kill with Draco Meteor is condemned with Spirit Shackle. Now, if it wasn't paralyzed, I could have Toxic'd it, and there was nothing that my opponent could have done against me here. I hold all the cards, and Latias is condemned to stay in here and die a horrific, grim death. Spirit Shackle Decidueye is a fantastic Pokemon to use. In comes Primarina. I really don't care. I can take it out with the Leaf Blade. This thing still kills. Even a defensive set is friggin' potent. I love this Pokemon so much. I just respect it way more than usual. So I really don't care at this point. My opponent can't go for the Aerial Ace, and he's going to leave me at 1 HP, 1%, 1 HP. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how beastly Decidueye is. He resisted a stab Aerial Ace from a Mega Aerodactyl. But yet again, Aerial Ace is not the strongest move in the world. But what can you do? Decidueye does not have the best physical defense, but yet it still managed to hold on in a pinch just so that it can deliver the final killing blow and stand tall at 1% of health and prove how potent this set is. I'm so glad that I thought this up. I've actually heard of it before, but I didn't think that people would use like Toxic to stall stuff out. I mean, I knew that Spirit Shackle, traps the Pokemon, and it's like a offensive ghost arena trap. But oh well. That's going to be today's battle. I've heard people use Spirit Shackle, but I really didn't study the sets as much. Maybe this is a popular set. It is a popular set, I guess, because Spirit Shackle is like a signature move for this Pokemon. So I have one for two, and that's today's battle. I only have one because I have plans later on. I am supposed to be meeting up with some friends that came to Athens, and I'm going to meet them up because I'm home. I'm not at the base doing some military crap, and I'm just home, chilling. And I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. 64 days left for freedom, and we will be counting these days down one by one until I'm done with this stupid thing. I mean, I love the presidential card, but sometimes, being away from home can be stupid, and you want to stay home and you just want to narrate Pokemon battles all day long, but unfortunately you don't have the time to. But oh well, you can't have everything. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Make sure to stay tuned and watch it. If you have Twitter, stay tuned over there as well. I do upload and connect my uploads onto Twitter, so if you do not catch it on YouTube, you can catch it on Twitter as well. My name is just as you can see it on the bottom left of the screen. Fat guy, fat martial artist. TPL723 is my Twitter name, so if you want to find me, you can find me there. No link needed because I really don't have time to post links and stuff. And well, that's that. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.